All right, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the Run.down. It's me, Tyrese. Maybe joined by some other people. We'll see. But good Knicks win today. Um, oh, sorry. There we go. Sorry. Good Knicks win. Jalen Brunson, captain of the Knicks. He scores 55 in a game that was weird. Should not have gone to overtime, but unfortunately did. The Knicks just kind of seemed lost defensively, and they weren't really able to string together stops until the end of the fourth quarter, heading into overtime. But they were able to pull away again off the back of Jalen Brunson dropping 55 and 9 rebounds, and Karl-Anthony Towns having 32 and 12. So, interesting game all around. A lot to talk about. Mainly the defense. I think you can also talk about how they really struggled to get cohesion offensively from three. Only they shot 25% from three. The three ball was just not going tonight. 10 of 40, but they were able to do a lot of their damage inside, and overall, that's a productive outing for them. Offensively, even though the three wasn't falling. But yeah, we could start with, of course, hero of the game, Jalen Brunson, 55, 9, 18 to 31 from the field, only 3 of 11 from three. Again, the three ball was not going down for most of the Knicks tonight, and 16 to 17 from the line. Got to the line 17 times. I believe that's a career high. He was just dominant, and he also didn't score in the second quarter. He had 13 points at the half. He had 13 points in the first quarter, 13 points at the half, and then exploded for 19 in the third, and was able to finish the game with 55, which just kind of shows you how incredible he was for this team and how vital he was for this team to win the game. I thought he played fantastic. I thought he was very much in control the entire game. And yeah, he was just unstoppable. The Wizards didn't have an answer for him the entire night, and they guarded him as if they didn't want to foul him. And he was able to take advantage of it, getting to the lane with the floater, finishing at the rim, just all the things you expect from Jalen Brunson. So it was really good to see him perform. And now he's tied for the second most 50-point games in Knicks history, next to Richie Guerin, with Bernard King having 5. So there's a real chance that he's probably looking at the record maybe in the next couple of years. And yeah, he played awesomely. He was, if there was a reason for Honey Pours, he was the reason for Honey Pours. I think we can talk about Cat next. Cat also had a really good game. He was in foul trouble to start, which was unfortunate. He picked up 2 quick fouls in the first quarter, and that kind of left the Knicks disjointed for the rest of the first quarter, heading into the half. But 44 minutes, 30 points in 44 minutes, 14 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks. I think down the stretch in the fourth quarter and heading into overtime, I thought he had a really positive game in terms of being able to show himself defensively. I thought he moved pretty well in the second half and into overtime. I thought his timing was great. I thought his ability to rebound was really solid. He was getting rebounds in traffic. He was giving us some chances to second opportunities. I thought he played really well, especially in the fourth quarter when the Knicks were down 10 and they needed a spark. He was able to kind of be the right way for Brunson to get back into the game, and then Brunson to take over the rest of the game. He played fantastic, and again, another hyper efficient night, 13 or 19 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. He has just been able to do a lot of his damage inside. He's been efficient around those areas, and the 3 ball is not the highest of volume, but it is efficient, and it has been going down for the Knicks. And he's been playing some of the best basketball of his career. Definitely all-star caliber, definitely all-NBA caliber, fringe MVP as well. I thought he was fantastic. And then I guess we could talk about Mikal Bridges next. Great night for him, 47 minutes, 21 points, 3 assists, 3 steals, 3 rebounds.
What up?
Brunson merch, as you can see.
Hello.
It's a great.
Boys got burnt tonight, buddy. Them boys got burnt tonight. Hello.
It was a special night. It was a special night. I think
they sent 6'8" Frank Ntilikina to guard my fucking demon point guard. What did y'all think was gonna happen? What did y'all think was gonna happen?
I don't really know what the defensive game plan was against that team. I mean, like the Wizards, granted, like they're tanking, they're 5-25, I believe, so it's kind of hard for them to defend in general. It's been a problem for them, but like they tried Koulibaly, didn't work. They tried Sar for stretches, didn't work. They tried Carrington. They tried Champagny, who fucking hell, 31-10.
Yeah, what the hell was that? It was like
I don't know, dude. Like, I know his twin brother plays on the Spurs.
Yeah.
But like, I have no idea how the hell he was able to get 31-10. Like, it just every shot he took just felt like it went in, and it almost did. He went 13-15. And then, they like just went away from him down the stretch, which was wild.
Hell yeah.
Like they just went, okay, he's our best player tonight, and we're just going to let Bilal Coulibaly and Malcolm Brogdon hijack the offense, which, as a Knicks fan, I'm not complaining. But
I'm not complaining at all. I'm trying to see when he took his last shot. I don't think that he took a shot in overtime.
No, he didn't. He didn't take a shot down the stretch. I think even Han commented about it. He was like, you won't give the ball to him?
I think his shot came with over 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
I think his last shot came 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It was the shot that got him 31. It was the shot that put them up 6. Yeah, it was the shot that put them up 6 before the Knicks were able to get a couple shots going for themselves. But yeah, it was wild to me that like he's hot, like he's on fire, and then they just decided down the stretch to go to Brogdon, Coulibaly, Carrington, Coulibaly, and then in overtime, Coulibaly, Sar, Carrington, Brogdon, Sar, Brogdon, Coulibaly. Like it.
Buddy, that GM got on the phone. He said, we need some PR moments. Give it to the guys who are getting paid and who got drafted.
Who got to show them the rebuild is working.
Right, exactly. We need that Coulibaly game winner. We drafted this kid in the lottery, and he ain't done crap. And I like Coulibaly, but, like, whatever. What a weird game, man. That whole thing was dog shit. But you know what I kept thinking about is, like, I watched a lot, like I'm sure like most basketball fans, but I watched a lot of the Golden State Warriors, like when they were coming, like once they won that first title and like those seasons afterwards. And it's like, I remember like watching them and being like, man, like you just knew that like Steph was going to hit one, Clay was going to hit one, Draymond was going to do something, and all of a sudden the wheels were going to start turning. And
Yeah.
sometimes it didn't happen until late in the fucking game. You know what I mean? Like maybe this is just what it means to watch like contending basketball. Is that like, yeah, they're not going to come out every fucking night and put away guys by 30 points at halftime. But I think what we've seen this season more than most, like, and especially outside of that first 10 game stretch, like down the wire, the guys come into their own. Like they're going to Cat, they're going to Brunson, they're going to Bridges. If Anunoby has it, they go to Anunoby. Tonight wasn't OG's night, which is completely fine. I mean, he had a fucking 40-point game this season. He don't got to score another point the rest of the year for all I give a fuck. Like, they're figuring it out, man. And I think, I've got to temper my own expectations because I'm like, we're title chasers, man. Like, I want to come out and I want to stomp these guys. But then it's like, okay, second night of a back-to-back, Jalen's questionable, right? Like, we're still only 30-something games into this experiment with two new starters in the starting lineup. One of them, Karl, getting traded, like, at the last fucking minute. Like, so I think, I just kept thinking about those Warriors teams where it was like, man, they came out flat a lot too. And you know what? They won fucking 72 games one year. And that was a lot of fourth quarter magic, right? And our shit isn't pretty enough to call it magic, like not even tonight. Like, I love Brunson, and 55 points is fucking sick. But a lot of that shit was ugly, man. A lot of that shit was ugly. So, whatever. A win is a win is a win is a win. The Wizards, I mean, they would sacrifice a fucking first round pick to get a win at this point, even with fucking 2 in their last 4, but they've only got 5. So really ugly, but I promise you at the end of the season, I'm really not going to remember tonight, even with Jalen's 55 points.
Yeah, like this kind of feels like the Sun game from last year where it's like Brunson had it going, Julius had it going, but for the most part, it was still like a dogfight until the end. In this case, it was just like you kind of just felt like they just needed a stretch of basketball where they could play decently and like a 3-minute stretch, and they would be fine. And I kind of felt like that's kind of what happened to get the game into overtime and then to put the game away in overtime. So, like, I think as soon as they went up 4, they didn't relinquish the lead, and that's kind of all they needed. It was just get there. It was a matter of, like, just get there, and once you get there, everything should be fine.
Absolutely. Once we got to overtime, I was like, we won.
Yeah.
Because these boys, they ain't winning overtime basketball. It's also their first overtime game of the season, as it was ours. But the difference being, we got guys who've been there, right? And we've been there in the fucking playoffs, right? So we've been out in the rain. We also been in the trenches when it rained. Like, these boys still hang on to the umbrella. So once we got to overtime, I was like, yeah, we're going to win this game. But it's crazy how fast that shifts because, like, at the end of the fourth quarter, I was like, man, they about to hit some bullshit. And I'm going to be pissed, right? A la the fucking Bulls game, right? We've had a couple of those recently over the last year or two. Like, but as soon as we got into overtime, I was like, all right, yeah, they're going to steer us home. So, and maybe that's just one of those perks too. Talking about the difference between contending teams and guys who are, fighting for 14th place.
Yeah, it was just like the defense, like in the second and the third quarter, they hit 5 threes in the second quarter. They hit 6 threes in the third quarter. God damn. But, like, they just did not miss. And the Knicks were still, like, right there, chipping away. They were still, like, making it competitive. And you thought, like, okay. Just like
what was the largest deficit? It couldn't have been more than, like, 12.
11. It was 11.
11. Yeah. This thing never got out of hand. It was just like, when are we going to fucking match their shot making?
Yeah. And it came down to Jalen Brunson had to kind of put the cape on. And once the cape was on, it wasn't coming off. So.
Yeah, shout out Cat, man. He had 30 points too. Like that's the kind of shit that I expect. Like if Brunson's gonna have 55, like that's a game where Carl's gonna have 25 because that's where we're at. Uh, also thought you were talking about it like right when I jumped on, but I thought McHale had like a really good game. Uh, yeah, his defense wasn't good in the second and third quarter, but the rest of the teams was fucking awful. Once we locked in, he was right there at the fucking helm of this fucking defensive effort in the fourth quarter. Got a couple pick sixes almost, and I thought he was really good, man. Really disruptive. Uh, 21 points, like yeah, love it. Felt like we could have gone to the bench a little bit. And where are you at on that? I know you're not a big. I'm not going to get you started on Precious Achua, but like felt like we could have gone to the bench a little bit more.
I think could have, but it's also like you kind of need to win that game. I feel like if the Knicks had the lead and like the Wizards were catching up or the Wizards were to go away, then maybe you kind of see Tibbs go to the bench more. But it's like they're playing from behind, they're at a deficit, and it's like you kind of need everybody at some point. So I mean, like I also think that like McBride didn't have it today. Precious never has it. Offensively, defensively, he was good. I thought campaign was okay, but like he didn't do anything that was like.
His 5 minutes were literally the meme that Josh was posting the other day with like the mouse going in and out the door.
Yeah, it's like he just came in and then he came out.
It's like, okay, thanks for coming.
Same thing with Shamit too. I mean, like, I'm happy he's at least willing to play Shamit. I didn't think that was going to be the case, and the fact that he's willing to play Shamit as like a legitimate 3,
yeah,
next to Deuce and Payne, I don't know how I feel about that yet. Especially if it's the unit, but like I think it was Cat. It was Cat in the bench, and it's like, ooh, I don't know how I feel about that. But I mean, there's a lot of moving parts in making the question. This is what his 11th game back. Shamit just came back. So like they'll figure it out. They'll figure out some kind of rotation. And I do think they're still trying to like work Shamit back in with like a smaller workload. I did like his energy though. I thought Shamit played like well in his stint. He didn't hit a shot, but like I thought like his defense was good. I thought he was able to like do a lot of the things that I think Tip Wolves would do. But aside from that, it was just
absolutely. Yeah. I'm right there with you. Like you're talking about a guy that, like with Shamit, we're gonna have to figure out what the fucking pronunciation is.
It's Shamit. You're good.
Shamit. This was his second game or his third game? Second game.
Second game in the rotation, third game overall.
Yeah. So, but for his second game and like he's moving like that, especially after the last one where he hit a couple shots, I love it. I can understand, and I think he's not shy on, there's opportunity to get a little bag next summer, if he's showing out for Tibbs and the gang, like maybe a multi-year deal, which is like fool's gold for guys in his position. So I really like what we're seeing. I mean, for him to only have played 2 games with us, like since the preseason, obviously, but in the preseason, like literally nothing's established. So it's not like he came in and resumed a role that he already put together in preseason. Like, no, this is him carving something from scratch. Like Tibbs giving him some fucking, okay, here you go, bro. And like you said, just moving well on defense, man. And did he have a shot attempt?
He had one, but I think he
it was a 3. I don't remember it, but
yeah, it was he bricked. It was like a corner 3, and he bricked.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. I'll take that every day of the week.
Honestly, yeah. Like all he needs to do is just hit corner 3s, play decent defense, and maybe like a 6 to 10 minute stretch. That's fine. But yeah, I thought his defense was fine. Again, like the bench is like these guys will give minutes when necessary. I think this is how Tibbs is gonna treat the bench for the most part. It's like these guys can give minutes when necessary, but otherwise.
But it's weird. Like I was thinking, and it's redundant on the surface, but like if Jalen had missed this game, all 3 of them, well, Deuce already played 19 minutes, but Shamit and Payne would have each played 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I understand that's redundant, but it's like once one guy is out, Tibbs is willing to overcompensate.
Yeah.
But like in a game like this, like you said, like, hey, they felt like they had to win it. They were playing from behind. So yeah, it all makes sense. But like in a game like this, like he's very much like tinkering around the margins. Like he's like, I've got my fucking construct and I'm not fucking with it. But as soon as one of those things is out, all of a sudden he does all these drastic rotations that are so weird. Like we would have seen Shamit and Payne for 15 minutes. We would have seen Sims, all of that just because one guy being out. And yeah, he's your best player, but whatever. The same can be said if Towns missed the game, if McHale missed the game. God, I can't believe I just said that. I'm knocking on wood. It's just he's funny, man. I love Tiz to death. Like that Coach of the Year stat, where out of the last, well, not so out of the last 6, only him and last year's winner are the only guys who haven't gotten fired. Like, I love it, dude. I love it.
Yeah, like the fact that Jalen almost didn't play this game is like crazy to think about because holy shit, if he didn't play this game, they probably would have lost the fucking Wizards.
It's like yes or no. Well, yeah, because like here's the way I envision it. Like Jalen misses the game. Towns has 4 fouls in the first quarter, and then like it's just fucking dog shit downhill after that because he already had 2, and like they would have been feeding the shit out of him.
Yeah, but like he came out in the first quarter too, with foul trouble. So it's like if they have to go an extended stretch, the cat on the bench,
and
like Mikhail having to like create offense.
Yeah,
it would not have been pretty. It would not have been pretty. So
yeah, I'm looking at what our people are saying right here. That's a good one. I can't push him, but we can.
Yeah, I can't either. But technical difficulties. But Chris Bernhardt says bad teams give me a bigger heart attack than any championship contender that exists. Agreed. Especially with the Knicks. Like it's been up and down with like the bad teams. Like the Knicks usually take care of bad teams. I think they have for the last couple of years, as they become more of a top 4 seed. But yeah, like the Bulls game was not fun. The yearly loss to the Jazz was not fun. So losing this game would have been like not a death knell, but it would have been rough.
Yeah, this would have sucked. But I tweeted earlier, I was like, if you know the Knicks, you knew that this is how this game was going to play out.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yes, they won the game, but they were going to come out slow, man. Like, these guys are averaging 57 minutes a game. The second night of a back-to-back. Jalen Brunson's questionable. Like, this is how they were always going to come out. So props to them for the win. I want to shout out Tyrese. Barra, did you already read that?
Which one?
We got a super chat.
Oh yeah. Barra El Harry. Sorry if I mispronounced that. $2. Thank you for your support. Alan Hahn is the Washington Wizards of commentators. Yeah. He was like at the end of the game, and he was like, "Oh, don't foul." Don't like. He was like, "What? The Wizards had no timeouts. We were up 3, and Hal's like, whatever you do, don't foul." And it's like, no, you're supposed to foul because they don't have timeouts. So if they miss a free throw and you get the rebound, the game's over. So yeah, like that was weird. And then like he called like, oh, Josh Hart completely traveled on that one. It's like, dude, just be a homer. It's okay to be a homer. It's fine.
You were like, I thought that was his job, but every now and then he says some shit, and it's like, who are you rooting for? And the only other thing I'll say about Han, because he's like not a friend of the pod, but he does support us at the Strickland, so it's all love. I just feel like every now and then he's very guilty of like presenting something as this profound point, and it's like, no, like you're just watching the game with the rest of us. It's like, yeah, Knicks really need to get an offensive rebound here. It's like, well, yeah.
We know, dude.
Right. And like in the third quarter, he must have said like 5 times, like, they just got to lock in on defense. They just got to lock in on defense. Like, yes, bro. Like, I get it.
We are aware. We know they need to lock in on defense. They're trying. I mean, I thought Pito was fine. Pito's usually fine. No, it
I'm
was Kelly.
indifferent.
It was Kelly Albert. It was Kelly Albert. My bad. Bless you. Yeah, I thought Kelly Albert was fine. He's usually pretty good. But yeah, like Han on commentary is just it's not it.
It's a little much. And he still hasn't used my Carl with a K because he's special line. No, he said he was. He said he was going to use it on the broadcast. I haven't heard it yet. Larry Israel, I love you, Larry. Towns cannot commit that silly hook foul when he is being guarded by Smalls. Stupid fouls have to be taken out of his repertoire.
It's never going to happen.
It's not going to happen. That was my first thought reading that. So I agree with Tyrese. Like, I would say at this point, like, we have done so well with Towns that we have not gotten like the worst parts of Minnesota Cat. That, like, let's just be grateful. And like, if there's some residue, some shit that maybe some dust he can't shake off from Minnesota, like, we'll see what it looks like in the playoffs, obviously. But like right now, like, okay, yes, I think in general, like, they just have to be smarter early. Stupid fouls in general, like, again, I just think he's going to be Cat at the end of the day. It just depends on the juncture and the moments where he's kind of being himself in Minnesota. But we've done really good. Like, he's beaten the allegations. So right now, I'm not throwing any rocks.
Yeah, like I thought he's played fine overall. The foul trouble is what it is. You just kind of learn to live with it. There's nothing you can do about it. So yeah. I've just embraced it for what it is. But
June, Mitch will be back and he'll be getting 2 fouls in 30 seconds, and we'll forget all about Towns and the way that he moves on that end of the ball.
Yeah, like I do think it's a matter of like he struggles as the lone big defensively. Yeah, like also like that hook thing that he does that like they call it every time. That just kind of feels like maybe you should be putting up the floor in that case. But that's just Cat. Like I've in my time watching Cat in Minnesota now with the Knicks, like you just kind of understand that like this is what he's going to do, and you learn to live with it.
Absolutely. Ace Bouchard. Okay, he's talking about Alan Hahn. Yep, covered that. Larry, it's criminal. He would be on the call with Monica doing radio. Bingo, bango, bongo. Absolutely agree. I think Monica's great. For Wally over Hahn, and I'm no fan of Wally. Okay. And Larry, fair enough. That hook is so easy to eliminate. He doesn't need it. Yeah, and maybe that's what it is. Just like completely remove that move from the, like you said, his repertoire. But I don't know. I think they've kind of bought in, like when they traded for him, a lot of the things the Cat does, and I think they've made some small tweaks. But all in all, like we signed up for the Karl-Anthony Towns experience, and right now, I don't have many complaints.
There's a comment from Neo Schmidt here. Worried about OG on both sides of the floor. Is his elbow an issue again? I think it is. He's been wearing the tape again. I do think he's probably going to need like rest soon. But yeah, like, I do think his elbow is an issue again. The fact that he like started wearing the tape, I think after his his game against the Raptors, I think he started wearing the tape again. So that is probably something to watch out for. I think Tibbs talked about it too, where it's like it does irritate him. But I mean, as long as he's doing okay. Like it's a bit of a stretch, but I think he's been okay aside from the Toronto game. It just sucks that he's not hitting his threes right now.
Yeah, but then, I mean, just his value on defense, like, that's the beauty of the 5-out offense, in my opinion, is that I won't say the beauty. It's probably in that 1A, 1B conversation is just like we got 5 shot makers on the floor at all times. So, like, we can literally afford for OG to not be 100%. Because I think Josh has kind of taken a step forward with his shot making this year, like particularly in the paint. So there's levels, and
Yeah, we haven't talked about Josh either. I think Josh was huge. His defense was not huge. I will say that much. His defense was very, very questionable. Um, but I think his offense was necessary for this team, and I think he was able to really perform down the stretch of the game when they needed it. But not only with the rebounds, but with his ability to like find shooters. And I thought he had a great game. I thought he had a really solid game. I think he's had a really good stretch of solid games now. Last 5 games he scored in double digits, and he's been pretty efficient throughout. So it's good to see him play this way. I think he's had 3 straight double doubles now too, like 13, 11, and 7 with a steal. Like it just kind of feels like a regular Josh Hart stat line, which kind of shows like how good he is. And this guy is like the 5th starter. So when your first starter is throwing up nearly a triple double, like that kind of shows you how strong your lineup is.
absolutely, I think Hart's been great. Like I said, I think he's just taking a step forward with his shot making, and he has benefited not as much as Jalen, but he's the second biggest beneficiary to Karl-Anthony Towns being there. It has opened things up, that extra 10 to 15% that he was missing last year. And he's been a menace at the rim. But even on defense, like he's just a ball hawk. So you take that for what it's worth. But again, like on a night like tonight, where like the whole team was such a fucking dumpster fire on defense, him just kind of being a contributor in that. Like I don't think he was the biggest culprit in our defensive effort tonight, but he offensively, I think he's been fantastic, and I think that's just what you're going to get with him. 13, 11, and 7, like that's just fucking beautiful basketball. And once I'm excited for Mitch to come back, man. I did not anticipate that sentence coming out of my mouth, but I'm excited for Mitch to come back because I think we've actually got some depth once he comes back. It's almost ludicrous to say that about one guy, but just the combinations that we'll be able to play and the way that those will work together. Between Hart, Towns, Mitch, like those 3 interchangeably, obviously not at the 5, but in general in lineups, like the way that we're going to be on the glass, like I'm excited about that. Because Hart's been a rebounding menace, and he's been much better than Jason Tatum, whatever fucking discourse that was today. Did you see that?
Yeah, he's a better rebounder than Tatum. I don't know why that's a conversation.
Yeah. Congratulations to Tatum for getting rebounds in the fourth quarter of 30-point blowouts, but do not compare that to my I break teams rebounding demon. All right? Because that's some bullshit.
That's just such a wild take to have. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Not that Tatum's a bad rebounder, but it's like
he's not. But that's the only thing that Hart is better than Tatum at. So, like, how are you going to say that Tatum's better? Like, it's the only clear-cut thing, in my opinion, where Hart will edge him.
Yeah, plus like Hart has 7 inches off of him. Like I think Tatum's like 6'10", so yeah, like 6 inches. Like the fact that it's a conversation with 6 inches kind of shows you, like, yeah, Hart's a better rebounder.
The fact that we even need to be talking, yeah,
which was silly, but whatever.
I haven't loved Deuce this year. He's had some good moments, but I feel like it's been very intermittent. I also understand he missed a little bit of time, but tonight was one of those games where it's like I felt like he wasn't a part of what the Knicks were trying to do, at least on the offensive end. Got to make his threes because these pull-up jumpers in the fucking mid-range aren't doing it for me anymore. It's not cute anymore. He's not Mikhail.
Honestly, for Deuce, it's like I think he's also just getting used to the fact that this is the first time he's getting like legitimate minutes in this way. These are the most minutes he's ever played in his career, so I think it does kind of make sense that he's slowed down a bit and he's adjusting. So I don't really like worry about it too much. I think he's still been a positive player. I still think he's been getting his minutes.
Yeah. Here's his last 5 games: 1 for 5, 1 for 4, 2 for 10, 5 for 8, and 1 for 6.
Okay. It sucks, but it sucks that he's not more efficient. But I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be okay. Like, he's still a productive NBA player, and as long as he's like able to soak minutes and not kill us in those minutes, I think that's a positive, and I think that's probably the most positive thing you take out of it.
Yeah, to your point, he's already played half as many minutes as he did last year in 27 games.
Yeah.
So definitely getting a lot more burn. And he wasn't, I can't remember what time he missed, but
He missed 4 games. Yeah.
At the start, was it at the start of the year?
Yeah, it was at the start of the year with like his knee.
But it wasn't the first 4 games. It was November.
Yeah.
And they went on it was 5 games. They went 4-1, which I think was a big moment for us as a team like that early in the season too. That was us riding the ship and finding out what these guys can do. So I think he is a little lost on offense, but again, kind of going back to what I was saying about Anunoby, like his value on defense, like, okay. Larry says, or no, not Larry. Well, Larry says when McBride makes shots, his team goes to another level. Absolutely. Yeah. When you have 7 guys, 6 or 7 guys that can make shots, that's hard to fucking guard. Neo Schmidt says need Deuce to be more of a point guard with Cam and not just a 3-and-D guy. Well,
he just doesn't have that capability.
He's not going to be a point guard. I have been at the fucking forefront of that conversation for over a year now. Miles is not a point guard. I love him to death.
He can't dribble through traffic.
Ask my man's right here about Miles McBride's dribble package.
he can't dribble through traffic. Like, you saw it today. It's like the Wizards' wings gave him trouble. And the Wizards, like, their wings are good, but they're young. And they're not really physical. And it's like, the reason why Deuce has an 18-foot pull-up is because he cannot get to the basket.
He can't get any closer.
Yeah, so, like, he basically has to take, like, he gets, like, one dribble, and then he has to pull up because he doesn't have anywhere else to go with the basketball. How many times have you seen Deuce get the ball, top of the key, make a dribble, and then has to reset the play?
Absolutely, 100 times.
Yeah, like that. It's not Deuce's game. He's not somebody who you could be like, oh, I need to like run offense. That's why they got Cam in the first place.
Right, absolutely, and that's the thing. Like I'm going to tell you too. Like if you want to know anything about our coach, is the campaign is going to continue to get minutes. He only had 5 or 6 tonight, but that is his role. He is the backup point guard. He is going to direct the offense when Brunson is not on the floor.
And he's also like gonna run though. Like he's gonna handle the rock because no matter what, Cam Payne will get a paint touch. Cam Payne can get 2 feet to the paint. Cam Payne can pass the ball, and Cam Payne doesn't make mistakes with the ball. I think he only has he had a turnover today, but like he's averaging less than a turnover a game, and he's averaging 3 assists. He only has 14 turnovers.
Yeah.
And 402 minutes.
And I've still got Deuce's page pulled up. Conversely, Deuce has 25 plus whatever he had tonight.
Yeah, and that's not bad.
And again, it's not bad. Like I wrote last year, like Deuce is a fucking incredible success story. But that doesn't mean we need to get cute and be like, oh, like he needs to be something that he's not. No, like he is naturally reaching the ceiling for what he is, which is a good, solid 2-way 2 guard. But like Tyree said, and I'm really glad he made that point because it is, Miles gets the ball at the top of the key and it's like, okay, the play's dead.
Yeah.
Like every time.
If it's not a 3, the play's dead.
And Payne is going to get into the paint. He's going to collapse a couple defenders. He's going to get some passes out on the wing, which is why he's going to be the backup.
Yeah, like he could hit a pull-up 3. He can hit a floater. Honestly, like surprisingly, Payne's three ball is like dipped a little bit, but his inside the arc finishing is like around 50% right now. So like that just kind of shows you like Cam Payne does provide an element to this team that we lack, but it is useful.
He's quickly light. He's literally quickly light.
Yeah, he's quickly with the dancing and the enthusiasm. It's a
lot of the same package too, like what you're getting. Again, it's why Quickly was also getting some backup point before the trade. Jason Aravallo, that's why Tibbs has been playing him with Brunson. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Brunson and Deuce play together because one of them is a point guard.
And then if Cam Payne has to go in, he'll just take over the minutes for Deuce.
Mm-hmm. Larry, I don't remember when Windhorst and Bontemps anointed the Bucks.
I think it was like on the Hoop Collective, like to begin the season.
I stopped listening to that so long ago.
Because Tim Bontemps is a narc.
They all fucking suck. I won't say anything bad about Alan Hahn, but Windhorst and Bontemps are fucking. It's just annoying.
Yeah, like they're not really too good.
Deuce's rebounding improvement has been a nice plus. Yeah, absolutely. I think the whole team has bought in. Again, back to 5-out spacing. Like everybody's kind of bought into attacking the glass, crashing the glass, and I think everybody has looked the part of a very capable rebounder. Which again, you add Mitch into that mix. Shout out Ace Bouchard. He said, "Shout out Mitch Hyde." You add Mitch into that mix, and now like minus Cam Payne, who's like even fine, but like minus Cam Payne, minus Jamit. We got 6 or 7 guys that can crash the glass pretty effectively. Payne's foot speed off the dribble is a huge change of speed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You just hit it on the head there. Because who don't got that, Tyrese? Who don't got that foot speed off the dribble?
We really don't. Like, even with Brunson, like, we don't. Like, Brunson, he can beat dudes off the dribble, but, like, the fact that Cam Payne can, like, blow by guys, like, we don't really have a lot of guys who, like, blow by other people. And Cam Payne weirdly is able to do that, despite the fact that he's not like particularly quick or strong. So
Cam Payne's zesty. That's why it works.
Honestly, you're not wrong. But yeah, overall, solid game. Is there anything else we really need to talk about much?
Not coming to mind. Closing arguments. Overtime win is great no matter who you're playing. Overtime wins are huge. I think second night of a back-to-back, we talked about it. Brunson was questionable. Like, this is what the game was going to look like. And good on the Knicks for getting the dub. Anunoby is on elbow watch. Precious Achua, good defense today. Miles McBride, keep working. Maybe he needs to hit up Chris Brickley. Got to get that dribble package intact. But, yeah, Cam Payne's the backup point guard. What else? Josh Hart, good game for Josh Hart. Everybody sucked on fucking defense tonight until the fourth quarter.
Yeah. But yeah, otherwise, I think that's about it. Next game is going to be against the Wizards on Monday, I believe.
Blowout dub. You heard it here first.
I am hoping it's a blowout dub because I do not want to be another war with that team.
Yeah,
really
it's going to be a blowout dub. And shout out to Larry. He says OT wins are even better when you have to come back and force it. It suck when you allow the other team to force it. Absolutely.
Yep.
That would have been so annoying if the Wizards came back in the fourth quarter and we had to go to overtime and win. Instead, we got the vice versa, which is okay. The Knicks can be serious sometimes. So, yeah, that's all I got, man. Shout out to everybody that came in. Shout out to all supporters for the Strickland. Y'all rock. Brunson Burn tonight. We got the double nickel. Tyrese, appreciate you hooking this up.
Yep. All right. Thank you guys, and we'll see you Monday. Peace.